Hey everybody, welcome back to another Honcast.com presentation. I am Phil, going to be your shoutcasting host, and joining me is the one, the only, Toby-Wan Kenobi from GameStar. How you doing today, Toby?
I am possibly as excited as I was at 3 a.m. in the morning when we actually had the grand final last night. This is insane, dude. Like, TSG have just come up against the massive favourites of Druids. They've shut down their farming. They've shut down their movement. But can they do it twice? That's the question going through. These guys, literally, at the end of the last game, they all went off for both in their big group huddles. Now, we have got the inside information coming out from TSoG. They want to do exactly the same thing. They want Wretched Hag. They want to actually pick up Demented Shaman. They want to restrict the movement again. That's what they're going to go with. They want to try and shut down Lolder's farming and just basically play it from there.
Well, I talked to Henry G shortly before their match for the first round, and he said that they had a set strategy in mind and that they were going to stick to that no matter what. And I mean, last round it seemed to work for them.
Yeah.
So they knew right away that because they were going to be taking Fade out of the game, because they were going to be taking a few other key heroes. I mean, take a look at this. We actually see Pebbles banned. I know someone in IRC called that earlier because of how dominant their Pebbles performance was last game.
They'd have to.
But I mean, we've seen Loda play that electrician, so they're really going to they're going to force him to try to take that Soul Stealer because they lost their hard carry after yesterday. So Loda's being forced to play that hard carry role this game, and unfortunately, he doesn't seem to really have a good grasp on Heroes of Newerth carrying. Because, he is relatively fresh into the Han scene, coming from, he's got a lot of fans, obviously, from the Dota community. But, as far as Heroes of Newerth is concerned, he hasn't fully embraced the game yet. So he's got quite a bit of learning to do, and I think they're really, really trying to bait that Soul Stealer pick once again, hoping that he'll go that route so that way they know what they have to do to counter him. If they don't go that way, though, we could be looking at a whole new ball game. And there we see Demented Shaman, very first pick coming out. But let's go over the bans real quick. Usually you do this, but I'm going to do it instead because I'm selfish. We have Engineer, Fade, imagine that, Fade. Zephyr, Accursed, Pebbles, and Electrician. So, I mean, like I said, Electrician ban, one of those heroes that Loda does play quite often, and he's banned. So, I mean, what are your thoughts on this ban?
I'm pretty sure they took out a curse. I'm thinking at the end of this one, like, I was wondering exactly what would be going through Drew's mind. And I'm thinking they're thinking either we go massively aggressive, we try and actually play TSG's game, and it'll be an absolute, they're definitely showing it first up as a bit of a pushing power through Hellbringer as well as Glacius. But removing off that ban, you don't want to have that dual lane of the Soul Reaper as well as guys. You don't want to see that kind of jazz. It's just buckle down, take it off there. But that didn't work for them last time either. They got restricted in movement. They couldn't move out and farm. They took out those towers. They pushed them back. They waited for the right times to do that as well. And I just don't know if they're going to be able to do it. Pestil's actually coming up now too, another ganking hero. They've combined it with Chipper. If we actually see a Plague Rider come out right now, I feel very, very sorry for the person who actually has to play that hero. Chipper literally eats Plague Riders for breakfast on this one, with Fruit Loops and the whole shebang. Even sugar on top of that one, because it is just so sweet. But they're coming into these last picks now. Hydra and Henry have 2 more left to go. They said they want a Wretched Hag. They still want to come up with a little bit more... like Wretched Hag, it's going to do well for them, but it's a lot of DPS coming out. But what are we going to see from Druids? They've still got another 3 heroes to pick up here. They've gone for 2 support heroes straight off the cuff. Are they going to go another support? Are they going to go aggressive? They've gone aggressive. Predator coming out. Who's going to be their last one? Predator's literally that mid-late game carry, but is still reliant on farm. And Arachna's now come out now. Arachna we were half expecting. Should go up to actually Lauder as well. They banned Arachna last time. This is almost... I feel like TSG are funneling the picks just from their bench, just from their own picks. They're forcing this to actually happen, and they actually haven't swapped them just around just yet. So Lord might not actually be taking Arachna here. There we go. Has actually swapped now. And so he's going to want to roam. He's going to want to farm. I'm really expecting a lot of money going into boards, a lot of money actually going into the map control here from Druids to try and combat what we've seen come out so well. And our last hero is Behemoth. And... a Behemoth Valk coming out. What fantastic lineup for ganking, fantastic lineup for setting up the big group battles as well, and just pushing these guys back. And they've gone for a Tempest as well, so maybe even going to run a 2 solo out here. Druids, I'm looking forward to seeing exactly how aggressive and how well they're going to keep up here with TSG.
Well, I think we're probably going to, It's difficult to say. We're probably going to see I'd say probably it's going to be Hellbringer in a solo lane. It's going to have to be. I mean, they're going to. Normally, I might say we might see actually Predator swapping to Loda. So Loda's going to be playing that Predator. That's going to be very very interesting. Loda, in my opinion, it's going to be difficult because he doesn't have really that reputation of being a great ricer. I mean, playing a hero like Soul Stealer, you don't really have to rely on your abilities to last hit, and you know what I mean, be good positioning. Basically, you just got to get out there and hope that no one ganks you, and then throw a couple demon hands out, and wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, you got 300 easy gold or 200 easy gold. But I mean, we do see Papa Dre picking up that Valkyrie once again. He just played him absolutely phenomenally last game, so I'm looking forward to seeing more. I mean, could we have a rival kind of player for Trixie's Valkyrie? I got to say, I mean, maybe not at that level, but I was very, very impressed with Papa Drake's play last time away. They did take that Glacius away from him, and that I think might be a key factor. Although you did say that they were looking to pick up that Diminished Shaman from the beginning, so perhaps they were baiting that Glacius pick on the other side.
I think they were. I think a lot of stuff is actually happening here, which I don't think Drdz is realizing. I don't think a lot of people are actually realizing here. TSG, they've come in and they've gone, this is what we're going to do. We're going to stick to our strat. We don't care about anything else. And look at this, straight here from Drdz. They've got 4 heroes down inside the Legion neutrals. Hopefully Shaman doesn't run into this one. They've literally turned around what TSG wanted to do before. They're going to run themselves around, and they're going around the Pestilence as well as Shaman. I'm not quite sure. I don't think Shaman would have actually had the vision from that one, but there's actually 1, 2, 3 heroes already up here, and Wing Courier almost going down here from Valk as well. They have managed to find Pestilence. Pestilence gets the impel, still falling back. All 4 heroes on the back of him. Pestilence will go down. It is rather ironic that actually happened, considering Pestilence was the first one to go down, except he was actually in the hands of Druids last time.
Well, I mean, that Bloodlust kill there right as the game starts, I mean, that is so important for getting that early farm. And Ixu playing out Arachna, that's really going to help him out. I mean, if he can, I'm not sure, I haven't checked his items yet, what he actually got. But I mean, right now, he could be looking at 1 to 2 free kills, and he could already have some boots, or he could be going for a bottle build early on. I mean, you could get that almost immediately, and that will really increase his presence here as he takes over the middle lane.
Yeah, that definitely could. And he has actually gone for the Agi, so the Duck Boots on top of the Arachna, so just trying to increase that attack speed, increase that damage. Tempest actually moving around with the Invisor in the middle here, so Drdz wanting to actually make a bit more of a move here. Chipper is actually doing very defensively, and that's what he has to do. He can't move up too far. He is actually now moving up. Tempest might make the most of this one. No, he's still not wanting to make the most of that rune right now. Might make the most of the bottom here, as Glace is coming around from behind, harassing that Pestilence back here. Shaman and Pestilence, not quite sure who they're going to target. In the end, the call does come out to actually try and go for that Glacius. Glacius, though, retreating back into the woods, and you can't really do much from that one. I'm loving how much harassment Shaman is putting on Loda, literally just trying to push him back from the creep wave. Don't get those last hits in there. If you do that, then literally Predator's going to have an absolute field day. He'll get himself farmed up, and he'll be a worse nightmare later on in the game. But both heroes harassing, just keeping it on there. I don't think I've actually seen really Shaman even go for the creeps here, allowing Pestilence to do the rest. He's kept the pressure on here, and actually Hellbringer, he can't get the pull. Look at the ward up there from TSoG. He was wanting that 130 pull. He's not going to get it. And one lane we actually haven't even looked at yet is the double stun lane of the Valk and Behemoth up there on the top, and of course going up there against the Hellbringer. That is not a nice solo. That fissure can come out so easily. The arrow can come on the back of it too. The Hellbringer can't get himself up to level 6 easily on that lane.
Yeah, I mean, looking around at just the ward placement, I mean, it is kind of surprising to see that TSoG did not choose to put a ward in their own jungle. I mean, when the enemy team has a Tempest, you really got to play it like that, I believe. I think that you got to at least have something up in your jungle, even if it's just at basically the rune spot. You got to be able to watch that area to make sure that Tempest is not coming up behind you and ganking you.
Yeah, you're definitely right, because we did talk about ward control actually coming off in this one. Like Drdz, they're stopping that pull, actually keeping an eye on that pull while the pull's actually still respawning there, but they're also keeping an eye on the movement coming back down towards that Tempest as well, so he is actually safe. Shaman wanting to come around the side here. Predator is still in the mix. He does come up high, and then he just has a bit of a crack there, pushing him back, but is Tempest going to come from the side? Yes, he is. They're going to get the stuns. They're going to get Shaman down. He overcommitted, and they've got to do something about that Tempest. They cannot continue to try and keep this bottom lane going, or else they'll sit back at the tower. Pestilence will get no farm whatsoever, and there's got to be a change up. There has got to be a change up. We must see the boys on the Legion side adapt to this?
Well, I mean, it's going to be difficult because the only real way to adapt to that is going to be to buy wards. But unfortunately, when you got to constantly worry about that, it's hard to get into creep range and get that extra gold because, wards aren't free. They cost money. And to be able to get that, you got to obviously get those creep kills. So I think what they really got to do is kind of change up, maybe even look at a lane swap here.
Yeah, maybe even throw a bit of a Valk down the bottom there to actually try. You can even throw out a random javelin every now and then and just hope for the best. Tempest looks like he's here to actually stay now, actually picking up a bottle and grabbing that DD rune from the bottom. So he's all about that extra damage coming out, because if you have him around there, he's actually left now. So after that one, they've brought 3 heroes down that actually combat that one. Behemoth even coming on down, and now the bottom lane falling back from that one. So perfect timing for Drdz to actually fall back there. You couldn't have planned that even more perfectly. Bottom lane though, it keeps pinging up. They want to go for it. Shaman's going to come through. They need that Fissure to hit, but Predator not moving down far enough. Lolder coming on through. Predator taking the bait, and the Fissure locks him in. He's got nowhere to go. They're going to hit him on down. Tempest has rejoined that bottom lane, though. Predator's actually, Shaman's going to go down first. Behemoth is frozen. Pestilence coming on down. He is literally chasing Lolder and leaving his teammate to die. And now we're actually playing a game called Left 4 Dead, as now he comes back and Impel comes through. Glacius and Tempest do get stunned. The speed will get him back, though. But 4 quick kills coming through the Drdz side, and they were definitely ready for this match. They're definitely ready to kick it off, and they've come out guns firing. And Tempest, I thought he was gone, but he came back just at the right time.
Yeah, I mean, Drdz really playing this to a T. They are making the best of every situation they've been put in thus far. I mean, that Fissure stun very well placed as far as being able to lock him in, but at the same time, I mean, they really probably need that stun damage as well to finish him off. Here's the Fissure now on the Tempest. He's going to be able to get the stun off on Pestilence. Yes, he is. 2 stuns coming off now. I don't know if it's going to be enough as Pestilence activates that flight ability. It is. They are going to choose to back off there, but they really need to do some counter warding, or at least some warding of their own to shut this Tempest down.
Yeah, they've got to do something about it. You can't literally run it this way. Of course, big props to at the moment. Chipper hasn't even left that middle lane. Valk's done the same sort of thing. So while this is happening, while they are literally running those 3 heroes rampant on that bottom lane and keep getting these kills, we're still seeing the farm coming up for the 2 big heroes. So we're looking at Chipper, we're looking at Valk to actually take the initiative here for the Legion side. And Drdz is still sitting on the back there just going, well, we're getting these kills, we're still getting the farm up here, but it is still coming at a bit of a thing. As coming on through, the rockets flying on down to Tempest. They've walked past the TG ward. The stun's still coming off through. Tempest gets the stun off there. The double stun comes off, and now he will fall himself back there. Even the courier coming on down, giving that extra vision to actually wash that Chipper, and now Chipper's in a bit of trouble because those conversions hitting on the back of him, and they do a hell of a lot of damage there.
Yeah, especially for being early game. I mean, you talk about only 30 damage per, but when you got 6 of them, I mean, that's a ton of damage to be coming out at you all at once, especially early on in the game when the heroes don't have a whole lot in the way of health pools. But, Arachna, she's actually... she's not done too bad here in the middle lane. It seems like it's pretty even, 16 and 15 for her, so really hitting up those denies. And Chipper going 18 and 12. So Chipper, actually looks like Chipper is at the disadvantage here. So, getting out leveled here by leaving Arachna alone, so allowing Arachna to get some of that free farm, increasing her mana, or not her mana, but her gold. I mean, she really needs to look, or they really need to look to stop that, because Arachna, one of those heroes that is farm dependent, but as she approaches, now that she's level 6, she can really look to follow up into some of those other lanes and really put the hurt on. That spider just does so much damage early on in the game.
Yeah, it definitely does too. And of course, Chipper actually trying to take a bit of a gamble, going down towards that bottom lane, having a homecoming zone to get himself back towards that middle. But they look for the Fissure to come off. But great play coming out here from Drdz, actually keeping tabs, knowing what's actually happening, and those 3 heroes still moving around that bottom lane. Shaman, Behemoth, as well as Pestilence. They haven't left that bottom lane, but we're also seeing Shaman holding back a little bit, as well as Behemoth, just trying to get those stuns in there, as Lotta thinking about coming through. Glacier's caught on the side as well. We might even see, look at that courier still flying in now, keeping that vision. Glacier's now coming on down, thinking about Behemoth. They're going to go for Pestilence. Pestilence gets the impale off, slows them down. Malphas comes up from the ground. They were not ready for that one. Hellbringer's now down the bottom, and Pestilence still alive. Impale stun goes off, still in there, taking the tower was Lolder. TSG has managed to actually bring down one. It's not over just yet. Lolder's still coming on through. Behemoth actually staying alive until Hellbringer comes on down. Malphas is still up, forcing the Valk to actually come back. What support coming in from him? Shaman, he's going to be the only one left alive there on the bottom lane to try and deal with it, but was actually coming down. Tempest is on his way down. Easy going to spot Valk. Valk was having a bit of a go there with the creep push coming on through, and Malvis even just pulling up those Legion creeps just up a little bit high here, but the heroes now respawning, and I think that's actually the first battle here where TSG actually were even par for that one.
Well, I mean, they ended up coming out on top. I mean, 2 hero kills to 1, so you got to give them props for that. Obviously, Pestilence did a great job of being able to survive through that whole thing, and landed some pretty key stuns as well as the support from Demented Shaman. So this TSG team has done a wonderful job of supporting each other when they can. Unfortunately, that was the first time that they've actually had the ability to support one another, as we still have quite a few heroes here grouped down at the bottom, so I wouldn't be surprised to see something else happen, but it looks like Glacius might be making his way back towards the middle lane. Maybe doing a little bit of counter warding here. He actually places a site right next to this other warder site here, watching over that weak creep camp. And now Behemoth looking for some way to get in. I'm not sure if they saw him or not, or if he saw whatever. But now Valkyrie taking quite a bit of damage. There's a stun hour, however, it's not going to hit anybody. She's going to leap away with barely any health. Is she going to be able to survive? Actually, 49 health. Looks like she's going to be pretty good. There's a death boil being put on by Hellbringer. Now Glacius looking to freeze Pestilence, looking to stop that stun. He's going to go back in here anyway. They are going to be able to get the kill off on him, but now Demented Shaman taking quite a bit of harass from Hellbringer, so he's going to have to get on out of there. And wow, this bottom lane has just been nothing but action thus far. Now Tempest, he's trying to get away here from Chipper, and there's Arachna putting the slow on into him. The Fissure stun comes out, but not really going to be any way to follow up on that, as Chipper is now just level 6, and those rockets, I mean, they still do quite a bit of damage. He is going to be able to hit Chipper, going to stop that port. If he's going to be able to catch up to him, there's one more rocket coming out. It's going to hit him here. One or two more should be able to do it. I don't know if he's got the mana for it. Yes, he does, but not going to choose not to come out with that. So really great job there by Chipper, playing very, very well, getting some of those clutch rockets out.
Yeah, he was actually waiting for the 3 rockets to have a bit of a go, just in case Tempest did actually hang around. Now they're coming! Ulti on top. The TP support came the second they could, but what fast reaction times. Like we were 0 for 4 at one stage, now we're back to 4 for 5. TSG, they set the pace.
You know, I don't even know what to say right now. I got to be honest. I mean, TSG, they looked like they really kind of got caught off guard there by Druid's really aggressive play early in the game. But the only way to counter that aggressiveness is to be aggressive yourself. And that's exactly what TSG has done. They said, we're not going to let you dominate this bottom lane anymore. We're going to get in there. We're going to put our heroes in there and make sure that you know that we mean business. This top lane has basically been empty over the last 4 minutes. I mean, there hasn't been a whole lot going on there. We see Loda now playing that Predator. He's been actually getting a little bit of farm, which is probably some of the reason why TSG has been able to take over some of those team fights. I'm not sure exactly how long he's been up there, but it seems like he's been up there for at least the last part of the team fight. Actually, we see the Fissure stun coming out here now. Valkyrie putting a little bit of auto attack damage onto him. So if they're able to shut down Loda here, though, early on in the game, as now we see Glacius taking a little bit down at the bottom, he's in a deep, deep trouble. Pestilence going to be able to finish him off. So, now TSG, they really take the initiative, and it's up to Drdz to respond.
Yeah, that they definitely do. It is actually locked at 5 apiece now, but they have been targeting their support hero. Glacius has died a couple of times already. Now running up to the top. The Fissure just on the wrong side. The Call of Valk has gone down. He does actually still have the Javelin up his sleeve. I don't think he might use it yet. He's waiting for the right time here. Predator's got enough vision to actually avoid that 1-2, and he also, of course, munches on one of the trees to get his life back up again. Valk fires off those boots, wants to get around the corner, wants to actually get on top of this Predator who is trying to farm here on the top. Tries a Javelin, hanging around the back there, doesn't come up with the goods. If it did hit, it would have been magical, but Predator just moving himself around, and all props here to the Valk, trying to move himself around, trying to actually get into a position where that you can't see the Javelin coming, and still get that long range on the back of it, because once you get that stun off there, it's almost like they're stalking Loda. Look at him go straight in there, pushing him back. You're not going to farm, and now the Force TP supports come in here, Hellbringer returning to the top lane.
Yeah, I mean, I think, honestly, that if Papa Drake had aimed that arrow a little bit further to the left and made him run a little bit closer to the tower, they probably could have trapped him in. Actually, we are seeing some inundation here at the top lane, as now Valkyrie taking quite a bit of harass. I don't know if she's going to be able to survive through this death boil, however, regardless of how she is going to be going down there. So she does throw the stun arrow out, but to no avail. She's going to go down herself. So really good support there from Hellbringer and Loda. I mean, they're able to definitely support each other right there, as now Malvis did end up coming out. So unfortunately, that will not be able to be used in the event that TSG decides to start some sort of team fight up here at the top lane.
But they can still push it on this tower, and of course we do actually have our Tempest, who has been farming it, only just hit level 6 now, pushing that top tower. Glimp fires off. He can literally literally create an army very, very fast. So Malphite actually taking the creep wave, allowing them to do so, as we see Lolda diving as the Predator back past the lane. The conversions have actually come up now. They are hitting the tower, so they don't actually respawn themselves up, so they're actually getting hit by that creep wave. They are dying left, right, and centre, so still moving on through. And, well, they can't push that tower. Good scrambling defense.
Yeah, for a 3 versus 1, Diminished Shaman handled that